want to talk about what I call the business lawyer paradox. It's something that is counterintuitive to most entrepreneurs, and a lot of entrepreneurs think they're doing the right thing, and they go and actually work with a local lawyer to try to get their legal stuff protected. And the problem is that actually can be counterproductive. It can, hurt you. It can cause a lot of problems. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, all about why going to a business lawyer probably isn't the right way to go. Before I dive in, if you don't know me, I'm Bobby Klink. I'm the lawyer and online entrepreneur behind Your Online Genius. And so, what I do is I serve other online entrepreneurs and help them get their legal stuff taken care of so they can really focus on the sexier parts of their business, the business building, the marketing, all of that stuff. So that's what I do, and wanted to drop in here today with this important kind of, public service announcement about why you should not, I repeat, you should not go and hire your local business lawyer. Now, there may be some exceptions, but generally this is going to be a good rule. So before I do that, though, I want to make an analogy that I hope will really bring this home, right? And really help you to understand this. And the way I do it is by talking about doctors, because everybody gets this with doctors, but we have trouble, or a lot of people have trouble understanding it when it comes to lawyers. So with doctors, I think intuitively, you would never go to a brain surgeon for acne. You also would never go to a dermatologist if you needed brain surgery. But it's not just about the level or quality. I mean, you wouldn't go to a cardiologist for something wrong with your head, or you wouldn't go to a brain or neurologist for something wrong with your heart. You kind of intuitively know that with doctors, for the most part, you need to go to a doctor who really focuses on the particular part of the body that you're having a problem with, but also with like the particular kind of thing that might be going on with that part of your body. And so we get that with doctors. But the thing is that a lot of people don't get the same is true of lawyers. Even my dad doesn't. Literally, I try to get my dad to stop asking me questions about things like trusts and estate law because I know nothing. I explain to him, I can go on the Googles, I can do a search, but I don't know anything about this stuff. I mean, literally, it's not something that I ever studied, spent time looking at. I'll be candid with you. I went to, a service to get my will done because I was like, I don't know. I wouldn't even know the first thing of what to do when it comes to creating a will. Well, the same is true with your business. You need someone who, number one, understands business generally, but not just business generally. They need to understand online businesses. They need to understand the kinds of things you do day in and day out. Because if they don't, they can't serve you properly. And, if you went to a good business lawyer, who is a good above board person, and you asked them stuff, they would tell you, well, that's not really something I know about. So you probably ought to find someone else. I'll tell you, honestly, I tell people that all the time. People come to me and say, well, that's not what I do. You should go find someone else. If you know me and have dealt with me in any, significant respect, I do that with trademark law all the time. I say, look, I can tell you the basics of trademark, when you need to do it, what you need to think about. But if you want to file a trademark, I'm not your guy. You need someone who does that day in and day out, either a service or a lawyer. So that's kind of gives you an example. Even though I am an IP lawyer by training, I understand the concepts. I'm not going to try to do that because it's not what I do. It's not in my kind of bailiwick. Unfortunately, what I'll tell you is there are a lot of lawyers who don't take their ethical obligation not to take on a matter that they can't adequately handle very seriously. And I've had a lot of examples of this come up. But two of them, really stick in my mind because they were almost identical stories. These cases both happened almost a year ago. So it was around the time that the GDPR was going crazy last, April or May of 2018. And I had two different online entrepreneurs come to me. They heard me on a podcast, probably on, Amy Porterfield's, but I don't remember exactly where they found me, but they heard me on a podcast. And so they came to me. Each one of them had a business lawyer create terms and conditions and a privacy policy and all of those things for their websites. And they, heard me and were like, well, maybe I should have someone look at it. And I looked at them and they were all wrong. And it wasn't just that they didn't have GDPR stuff. It wasn't just that, something. They were completely wrong. They had nothing to do with what these people's businesses did. They weren't tailored to an online business at all. And I don't remember all of the details. And in each case, I went and I kind of dug and asked questions. And the story was almost identical. In each case, these entrepreneurs had gone to a local business lawyer and said, hey, I need to have website policies created. And in each case, the lawyer had essentially said, well, I don't really do that, but I can do it if you'll go and get me samples. And so the lawyer wanted these entrepreneurs to go find examples. And in each case, the lawyer then took those samples that the entrepreneurs had copied from someone else somewhere and tweaked them, charged thousands of dollars to do it, and they were all wrong. Now, let me give you a red flag that should, come up in your mind. If a lawyer comes to you, if you go to a lawyer and they say, well, I don't really know about that, but if you can get me a sample legal example of that document, maybe I can do it. You should run. Again, if they're going to try to help you out for free, that's one thing. It's not even ideal if they're doing that. But if they want to charge you to basically look at a template that you go find somewhere because they don't know about it, that's a problem. Now, again, if you buy a template somewhere and want to go to have a lawyer check it, that's fine. But if they don't know and you're having to go and get them the sample for what they're going to create for you, that's not good. I mean, that's a sign they don't know the area and they don't know what they're talking about. And so let me talk to you about why this kind of is a paradox in a way. It's because the problem is that a lot of times online entrepreneurs who are trying to do it right, they actually go out of their way to hire a lawyer to get this stuff done. Not only are they in no better position, in some cases, they may be in a worse position than someone who's done nothing. Because the policy might be so wrong that it actually creates all kinds of other issues for them. And so in some cases, it might be that they would be almost better off having nothing. But even if they're not at a position where they're better off having nothing, they're basically at a position of having done nothing. But they think they're protected, so they're not, thinking about it. They're not looking for solutions. And that's part of the problem you run into. So whatever business you're in, you need to find a lawyer or legal resources or whatever you're going to do to solve your legal problems or legal issues that are tailored to your business. And it's not just to say a business or an online business. You really need to go further than that. For example, I've had people come to me who do drop shipping. And I'm like, I have no idea about that line of business. That's a completely different issue. I have people who come to me who are almost, exclusively physical product providers. And I said, well, that's not really what I do. What I do is I help people who are kind of in the information space. They're selling a course, a membership, their services, something like that, where it's kind of either an information-based product, so it's a digital product basically, or their know-how. And that's the kind of, specificity that ideally you should be looking for when you're trying to find a lawyer, a legal solution, et cetera. So, you need to find that solution that is tailored to your business, tailored to what you do, because when you find that, that's when you can have confidence that you're going to be protected, that the issues you need to be thinking about have been thought about. And then also, quite honestly, if there's customization that has to be done, it's going to be easy, right? So if you're someone who is in the information space and you buy one of my templates, it's going to be pretty easy for you to customize it because they're built for your kind of business. Now, if you were like a drop shipper and you were trying to customize one of my templates, you're going to have to do a heck of a lot of customizing. And I'm not sure that, you're going to then be like, well, did I do it right or not or what? And then you're going to have to go talk to a lawyer. So, that's kind of the second level problem here that you end up with. So my call to action to you today, don't just go find a business lawyer, find a lawyer who does what you need and serves your kind of business. Now, the separate level, don't come to me with trusts and estates because I tell my dad I'm not going to work on it and I'm not going to help you with it. But on a serious note, just understand that lawyers, we can't use the word specialize our ethics rules basically say we can't accept in very weird situations. So we can't say we specialize, but lawyers focus on a particular area of law and they should stay in their lanes. So find a lawyer who is in your lane and they can serve you and they can make sure you're protected. Now, if you happen to be someone in the information space and you'd like to just learn more about the legal stuff that affects your business, I'd love for you to join me in my free training academy. It's called the Online Genius Academy. It's got like 30 plus videos. It originally was part of a paid product, but I said, no, I'm just going to give that stuff away for free. So it walks through things like setting up your business, written agreements, why you need them, what needs to be in them, et cetera, intellectual property. So things like your brand, and then also your content and all of those things that you need to be thinking about. So it's all in there. It's absolutely free. You can join. There's a link in the description, but also you can go to youronlinegenius.com/academy and join there absolutely free and just start learning about the legal stuff. And then you'll have a better footing on what you need to be doing to protect your business. And as always, if you have questions, I'm around, pop in, ask me questions. I'd love to answer questions. Is kind of what gets me excited to help entrepreneurs like you build your businesses and do it safely. So that's it for now. I'll talk to you again on Friday.